usually we're meeting at 4. We don't do a ton of doubles with this team, although this year it might be changing a little bit. We're working on having a little more pool access. I'm a big advocate for what you can do in the pool, especially with some injury-prone athletes. So that disclaimer aside, generally speaking, we're meeting at 4 o'clock. Got 2 big workouts a week, and then the other days we're doing a lot of volume-based running and a lot of mobility. We work with a physical therapist. She does a lot with helping us with some preventative injury exercises that we do, that we transfer to the weight room, just doing her mobility, different things like that. But all that's kind of lumped into about a 2-hour practice.
So this summer, I upped my mileage to around 80 miles a week and tried to do that pretty consistently. And when doing that, I tried my best to stay healthy, so doing any sort of drills to reduce injury and, just eating right, sleeping right, just to make sure, I was able to do that. And then our coach also made a lot of workout plans. So I tried to do as many of those as I could, just so that coming into preseason, I would have some speed under my legs and be ready for any, tough workouts.
So this year, the personal focus for me was an increase in mileage. So I went from doing about 45 miles is my max over the summer to going more up to the 50 range, mid-50s. I took it upon myself to do some more runs on different sorts of terrain because cross country, the terrain varies a little bit more, and also just doing harder runs with more elevation gain too.
Do a mile time trial, which isn't the best predictor of cross country, but I just use it because it kind of gives us some kind of a fitness test. But based off that, Shane Houghton, as we expected, is one of our top runners coming back, and Peter Gingrich is looking really good. He's doing some good stuff over the summer. Dom DiRaffaello and Liam Duffy are in really good shape. And we have a lot of other people who I think just haven't stepped up yet. Like Mike Lurch comes to mind. He didn't have the best mile time trial, but I know he's going to be there in the end. And with newcomers, honestly, almost any of our freshmen I can see really rising up. John Riley, Owen Naif, and Nate Hadgel have a lot to offer. Jake Farrell had a great mile time trial for us in a great summer. So, honestly, any of our freshmen could be really, really key contributors for us.
Well, I felt pretty good, and I was pretty excited because it was the fastest time I ran for a mile ever. Well, it's technically a 1600, but my teammate Peter Gingrich and I, we took it out pretty hard in the beginning, just so we could be set up for a fast time. And I felt good, and as we progressed through each lap, I tried to, increase my effort, and it paid off. I think my biggest takeaway from the time trial was just not just my performance, but my performance with the team. As I mentioned, Peter Gingrich and I, we took it out hard, being able to work with somebody like that is really great and beneficial to me. Over the summer, I ran alone for most of the time, and we have different groups working together. We actually had a lot of guys walk away sub 440 for the mile, which is pretty impressive. I was really impressed with that. I was really happy. It kind of goes to show that we did our homework over the summer, and we have a pretty strong freshman class, so I'm really excited going forward with the season to run with this team.
Yeah, as expected. Natalie Stabolito really ascended last spring season when she won conference, and she nearly made nationals after what time she ran when we took her out to Chicago in May. Emma Marion really started to come back with a really strong spring season. She's someone that's going to be really strong for us back, and Santina Burak and Rachel McCoach have been just kind of big members of our top 5 for a long time here. For newcomers, I guess Pia Mazzella in a way. She's a returner, but she didn't have the sophomore season, and she's been looking really good this past fall and even coming in this fall. We have a whole host of freshmen. I think it's just a little early to tell. People like Rachel Goodman are looking really strong right now. Amber Panicter is another one that has a really good resume coming out of high school, and I think it's just a matter of who is it going to be that's stepping up. We have a number that can.
My biggest takeaway, I think, actually was how great we raced as a team already. We have a lot of freshmen coming in this year, so we don't know each other super well yet, but we're getting there at almost a rapid pace. So I was really impressed just with how we all performed in that sort of competitive environment together and feeding off of each other as we went through the race and really just working together to perform as best as we can. I'm really impressed with just the immediate sort of team chemistry that we have already.
Yeah, for the men, the preseason rankings came out for our region. We just were ranked 3rd, and to be honest, that's kind of what we have in the back of our mind, being somewhere in that top 3 this year, and it's a lofty goal, no doubt, but on paper we have some people, if things come together and some of the freshmen ascending like we think they can, and just the returners doing what they're capable of, I think we have the potential to have at least 10 guys that can break 27 and possibly even 5 that can run 26:15 or faster. A lot of our eyes are as a team, and honestly just them kind of having conversations themselves. That's what they're focused on. Certainly what I'm focused on too is doing some big things to hopefully get a team to nationals is the ultimate goal.
For this season, personally, I would like to be in like the low 25s for an 8K, if possible, qualified for NCAAs as an individual. Every year, we always set out to, try and win like the conference, and I think we're capable of that. But I think the main goal this year is actually to make an appearance at NCAAs. We have a pretty strong team, and I think we do have the guys on it to really get there. We have a lot of hardworking and talented people this year, and I'm really excited.
No doubt, on paper right now, it looks like Emma Marion and Natalie Stabolito are two people that are going to be really competitive at our region level, way up there, and give us what they call in running terms the low sticks. And we have a lot of really nice depth pieces behind that with, again, Santina Burak, Rachel McCoach, and Pia Mazzella seem to be our established 3 through 5 runners at the moment. But there's a number of people like Amber Panictera, I think, has a potential to be nipping right at their heels. Kenzie Heights is battling some injuries, but as long as we keep her healthy, she looks awesome. Workhouse has a ton of potential. So you put all that together, it's another team. We're ranked top 5 in the preseason. I think that's where we can also be finishing when we get to regionals come November.
I'd like to make the all-region team this year, but that would be probably a long-term goal in the future. Just as a teammate, just trying to have a personal conversation with a teammate every day because our team atmosphere is really important to us. We would really like to have a conference championship under our belt, so that's the big one that we have in mind, and then trying to get as close to national qualifying as possible at the regional level.
I thank our administration, President Grigsby, for fighting for us to have some semblance of a season last fall, but clearly when we're just doing virtual meets and things like that, it's not the same. So honestly, just this little stuff. We've been getting back to some of our preseason activities. We just did an escape room. We did like some mini golfing. And just sometimes the silly stuff is something you miss and you look forward to. But certainly be able to apply what you worked on. Like to see that for some of a really good class we have with Natalie Stabolito, Emma Marion, Shane Houghton, Dom DiRaffaello, like that they can kind of realize some of those opportunities that people lost last year. Like you want to see them to be able to have that memorable experience that they've worked their tail off for the last 4 years to hopefully come to fruition.